Hey, what's up? This is part 2 of a 2-part series that I've put together on how I would personally organize the weekly training of a professional jiu-jitsu athlete. If you missed yesterday's video on the high-level overview, I recommend that you go back and check that out first. Follow the page if you like it. In part 2 today, we're going to be talking about the specifics of the physical training. Enjoy. As I've said in other videos, I think 2 to 3 days per week of speed, strength, and power is the sweet spot for most BJJ athletes. And we'll err on the upper end of that because we're dealing with a pro. Those are going to be scheduled on the high days. And we'll also schedule 1 to 2 days of high intensity alactic conditioning, probably on Tuesday and Saturday for the reasons that I alluded to earlier. We want Thursday to be a little bit easier. For the purposes of working with the schedule and fatigue management, I would suggest that physical prep should be done first in the day, then maybe a shorter jiu-jitsu session in the AM, perhaps to go over everything for the hard session that night. Then when the athletes come in again in the PM, you can basically just warm up and get straight into the hard stuff without having to go over everything again, technical instruction and so on. On the low days, I'd suggest a similar approach, but replace the lift or the speed, strength, and power with long, slow aerobic work and any other physical elements that might be useful and needed and appropriate on that day. Stuff like mobility, stretching, rehab and prehab, maybe even some light single joint bodybuilding. Then again, we can do a little bit of BJJ in the AM, but do the bulk of the work in the PM. That AM might be comprised of film study, teaching, and slower drilling. Then in the PM, the session can be dedicated to slightly more intense drilling and game variations that will try to apply the concepts from the morning, but in a more realistic context. On Sunday, for most of the year, I recommend athletes do nothing but spend time with their families, eat good food, and relax. I know some people like the idea of working hard on recovery, but in my experience, any recovery modality that isn't food, sleep, or time normally comes with a hidden cost, and the mental effort of doing it tends to outweigh any physical benefits that you might get. So you want to make sure that you still have a life. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, and I'll add to this series with some more detail over time. Thanks.